Hello and welcome to Two Therapists and a Microphone. I am Dr. Harrison Davis.
And I'm Dr. Aisha Dickerson.
Two Therapists and a Microphone is a podcast about mental health, relationships, and social issues that personally affect you. We broadcast live every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. on the Our Black Media Network.
Harrison and I are two licensed psychotherapists with decades of clinical experience, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear about your situations or any dilemmas that you're going through. So please visit our website at www.twotherapist.com, and you can click on Ask Two Therapists in the top of the page.
Absolutely, because I really enjoy when we get more of the questions. And I know that you
Yeah, me
guys
too.
enjoy it too, because I get the feedback, somebody who actually understands you and you don't have to explain a whole lot. So today's show is on what we call hot topics, where Dr. Aisha and we choose a topic and we surprise each other and we try to talk about some things from a clinical lens. So I'm going to hand it all to Dr. Aisha and let you go first with your hot topic. I have no idea what it is.
Okay. So we actually haven't had a show in a while to talk about politics, and I think we've had a couple in the past, and they've been pretty fun. And I have to say
Yep.
that I am super interested in this race with Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker, just because to me Herschel Walker is a clown. Now it's not about my political opinion. It's just my
That's
opinion
a
about Herschel.
personal
Right.
assessment.
This is my personal assessment of Herschel Walker is that he is a clown. And in fact, I know that he just recently agreed to do a debate with Raphael Warnock. And then I
In
heard,
Savannah.
right. It's October 14th, I believe.
Yep. Mhm.
I'm very much looking forward to watching that on TV, especially after his follow up. It seems to me like he was trying to get everybody to feel bad for him, saying, I'm going to do my best. And he's a college educated man with his nice suits, and I'm just a country boy. And he's going to embarrass me, but I'm going to do my best. But the issue that I want to bring up is a recent video that his son posted about I have to figure out his son's name is Christian Walker. That's his name. And there have been some commercials about Herschel Walker's violence and all of that, but he still tried to sell himself as a family man. And according to Christian, Herschel is absolutely not a family man. He says Herschel has 4 children by 4 women, and he has abused the women, and he doesn't have a relationship with any of his children. And Christian wanted the world to know that. And he did what people his age do is very effective, as he posted his video on social media.
So if I could just interrupt for a
Yes.
second, we were on the same
Really?
plane. I actually have the video
Okay.
queued up because I want to talk about it too, but I think from a different perspective. But let me
Okay.
go ahead and show the audience the Twitter video of Christian Walker talking about his dad. Let me go ahead and do it. Let me know if you can't hear it.
Okay.
1 second. Screen, Chrome tab, share, and pull that up. All right, you can see it?
Mm-hmm.
And play.
I stayed silent as the atrocities committed against my mom were downplayed. I stayed silent when it came out that my father, Herschel Walker, had all these random kids across the country, none of whom he raised. And my favorite issue to talk about is father absence. Surprise, because it affected me. That's why I talk about it all the time, because it affected me. Family values, people. He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them. He was out having sex with other women. Do you care about family values? I was silent, lie after lie after lie. The abortion card drops yesterday. It's literally his handwriting in the card. They say they have receipts, whatever. He gets on Twitter. He lies about it. Okay, I'm done. Done. Everything has been a lie. And so for the right to say I'm being suspicious for saying, hey, I'm done with the lies, when you all have been calling me saying, is this true about your dad? Gosh, we're not going to win Georgia, this candidate, all that's been you. You have no idea what I've been through in my life. You have no idea what me and my mom have survived. We could have ended this on day one. We haven't. I haven't told any stories. I'm just saying, don't lie. Don't lie on my mom. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on the lives you've destroyed and act like you're some moral family man. Y'all should care about that, conservatives. And then for people on the left to act as though I'm responsible for all of the things that he has done. I've talked about Father Epps. I've talked all these issues because they've been close to me, because they matter to me, because I went through it. That's why I've talked about it. So when you say, well, talk about your dad, but I'm saying this behavior is atrocious. Don't come for me. You don't have to like my politics. You don't have to like me. You don't have to. I'm just saying I'm done with the lies. We were told at the beginning of this, he was going to get ahead of his past, hold himself accountable, all of these different things, and that would have been fine. Go ahead. He didn't do any of that. Everything's been a lie. Everything's been downplayed. Everything's been cutting corners. The whole thing. And whose expense is that at? Me, my mom, as we're chased down by the media, we're terrorized, all these different things. People are questioning my authenticity. I'm done. Don't lie. Don't put this on me. This is a candidate issue, not a me issue. I wouldn't have spoken out if there weren't all these lies every day.
So Christian is very passionate. And the thing is, we know Herschel has these other children that, I mean, I guess we know in quotes. I haven't seen his other children, but Christian said he has 4. And then there's the card with the $700 in it.
Where he paid, well, the accusation is that he paid for his ex-girlfriend's abortion. And Herschel Walker is adamantly against abortion. He has verbalized that on the campaign stomp for any reason.
Under no circumstance, not rape, not incest, you should have that.
That hypocritical.
Oh, definitely. Well, I already know he's not the only Republican who's done that. Weren't there a few others whose girlfriends or side chicks came forward when they voted?
I don't doubt it.
When they voted abortion down, he's not the only one. But in addition to, I guess, paying, supposedly, allegedly paying for this one abortion, he has been an absent father, according to Christian, in all of his children's lives. We do know there's one son he just never mentioned ever, period. And Christian says he came to one event and he was done with it. Yeah. So imagine watching television where your father is talking about all these family values. He's trying to portray himself as this amazing conservative man, and you've known him longer than most of these people. Not all of them, because I think people think they've known Herschel Walker from his football days.
That's
but
correct.
You know him intimately, and to you this is all a lie.
Yep.
So I have also been watching this new podcast. I have to remember what it's called, but it's about, I want to say it's called the Fatherhood Podcast. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to tell you in just a minute. Okay. But it's a group of guys who
Is it the Fatherhood Project?
No, that's not it.
Okay. I'm familiar with that one.
But it's a group of guys who talk about what it is to be a father, how they pick their children's mothers. If you tell a woman that you have children in the beginning, I think most of them are single fathers and a few of them are married. But I am hoping that they touch on this subject, basically what your kids say about you in the streets. Because, we have a lot of these. Herschel Walker is in the national news, but I think a lot of times we have these Facebook dads and Disney World dads who post all these pictures the 2 times out the year that they have their children, and they have no relationship with them.
Well, this is so peculiar because we were headed in the same direction. That's why I had the video queued up, thinking about it. And, this is not a political show, but there
Right.
are some emotional and social issues that were presented. And I think you're headed in the same direction I wanted for us to talk about. And that's the whole issue of fatherhood, absent fathers, and the consequences of that, and watching Christian, I'm not for it. I'm just put it out there. I'm not voting for Herschel Walker. I can't comprehend him when he talks.
Me neither.
But that's not the show. The show is when I saw the video. I think I've seen it about 2 or 3 times now. That's like the 3rd time. And the resentment that the son is expressing and airing all of the dirty laundry because of Herschel Walker's actions from the past. And it appears to be a lot. I mean, not only did he abandon them or kick them out, I don't know what, but he's also been accused of brutalizing the mom. And
Yes.
he said on another tweet they had to move 6 times in 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
to get away from him. And now the son is grown. He looks college age, and his dad is running for U.S. Senate, and he refuses to play that game, to play the role. Now, like you mentioned, Herschel Walker is a celebrity, political celebrity running for
Yeah.
office. I'm surprised he's made it this far.
I
But
know, right? It's like I am dumbfounded. It's just,
I can't, when he talks, I
but
can't tell if he's drunk or not. I don't know.
he says
But
because he's a country boy, as he says.
country boys know how to talk.
I
They know
I
how
know
to
quite a few
finish
country boys.
college,
Mm-hmm.
and do well and be successful dads. But the thing that I was thinking about, you were heading this direction too. All the dads out there who are not celebrities, who are
Mm-hmm.
not running for office, who have done something similar to
Yeah.
their kids, and now their kids are grown. And imagine them not going on Twitter, creating videos, but perhaps spreading some of that uh, discontentment to their family friends, as I have had some clients in similar situations as Christian Walker, where their dads are older and they have to go and try to take care of them or something like that, and they refuse,
Yeah.
and that resentment comes up, and now they're on my couch talking about all the things that they missed as a kid, and not even referring to their dad as a dad. As
Right.
one client told me, that's just a dude that got my mama pregnant. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
that's the resentment that spews over when those older men believe that their kids are going to come around
Right.
and show them love.
So just the podcast I was talking about before is called Prototype Dad. But
Okay.
on back to what you were saying, I have seen, because I work with a lot of teenagers, where
Okay.
fathers think that they are consider themselves to have been present or be a father because they paid their child support. Forget the times when you didn't pay your child support and the government had to intercept your income tax refund or take the money out of your savings account. But you disappear for years. And even if you pop back again when the child is like 10, you believe that you're supposed to come back in and assert yourself as a parent, and that a child is supposed to give you the same respect that they
Yep.
give their other parent.
Yep.
So I know one, and I actually told her I was going to talk about this, and so I'll say she
Okay.
gave me permission. It's
Okay.
okay. But she is about to graduate from high school, and her father has been kind of sprinkled in and out here and there.
Showed up on birthdays every other year. Maybe.
Barely that. Every now and then, summer break. What do you want to do? Do you want to visit my parents?
So he
Not
shows
me.
up throughout her childhood as if he hasn't been missing.
Right,
Gotcha.
right.
Gotcha.
So just once every couple of years, and now
Wow.
his and so I'll also say she has a hyphenated last name, but like most people, including celebrities and friends and stuff I know, she only uses one last name, not as a slap in the face to her father, but because nobody wants to write out all of that. That's what
Gotcha.
she says.
Okay.
So his new rant is, why don't you use my last name? I did all this stuff and you're just trying to erase me. Now, keep in mind,
Mm.
this guy thinks he's being the father, but also he is berating and harassing this child during school hours. These are
Over the
long texts.
phone?
Yeah, sending text messages at 8:30 in the morning, like she's not in school. And look at these
Wow.
text messages he
So
sent me.
he's disrupting her school day
Right.
to tell her
Because of
how
because
he
he is hurt.
feels.
Mhm,
Yeah, his feelings
mhm.
are hurt. Yeah.
Like a little boy.
Yes.
Not being the mature one. And then I think she handled it fairly well. Her response was, what, question mark, I'm
Mm.
actually in school right now, I'll talk, so please stop, I'll talk to you later.
He
And then
wants
she
her to make him a priority
right
when he never did that.
well, and then her senior year, her number one priority is graduating, probably.
But he never made her a priority.
No,
But he's
no.
expecting her to stop everything she's doing to make him a priority. Yep.
Right. Forget your grades and forget your school. And I want to talk about this right now because my feelings are hurt, and we should talk about it when I want to talk about it, even though I've never been to a birthday party you had, and I haven't
Yeah.
sent Christmas gifts in a few years, and I haven't come to middle school, elementary school graduations, and none of that. So anyway, she goes on about her day, and the next day he sends a text message because she just really didn't think about it, I guess, to respond.
It
You
wasn't
haven't
significant for her.
right. It's not right. You're not that important.
Yeah.
His message is, you still haven't responded to me, and it's disrespectful for you to tell me to stop. None of my kids talk to me that way. And at that point she goes off. That's probably because you might have raised the other ones, but you didn't raise me, and I
Okay.
barely know you, and you don't
Okay.
pay this phone bill. And I'm
Okay.
trying to be nice to you, but
Ooh,
I'm going to block you, and you already know my mama won't give a F.
wow. She took her assertiveness pill that day.
Right. So I think he is probably a good example of, in my mind, this is how Herschel Walker thinks. I
Yeah.
haven't heard that Herschel never paid child support and that he did
And the
not
son never accused him of that either.
right.
Yeah.
No one has ever said that Herschel didn't financially take care of his children, but it doesn't change the fact that he was absent and
Yep.
he was physically
Yep.
and definitely emotionally, verbally abusive
Yep.
to these children's mothers. So
Yes.
that brings me to my next point when it comes to fathers. You can't consider yourself a good father and berate your child's mother in front of them and think they're going to be okay with that. This is
Mm,
between me and your mama. Y'all called your mama a bitch, but I didn't call you that. That's between me and your mama.
mm.
When the mother is the one who is there the majority of the time. I
Yep.
mean, even if you get your child every first and third weekend, when the mother is the one who's there the majority of the time, chances are the child's gonna be pissed off that you said something like that to their mother. They
Yeah, because you're
usually love their mother.
insulting the child's caretaker,
Exactly.
the one who is there every day. And it may be a little bit conflicted, because that is the dad, and he's putting some
Mhm.
pressure on them, to treat him a certain way to make them feel guilty, if they don't treat him a certain way. But the bottom line is, like you said, they're doing something to damage that relationship. So
Yeah.
don't be surprised years later when they don't want to show up to your 60th birthday party,
Mhm.
or they don't
Right.
want to go to your retirement party or get together, or you're in the hospital, past 60 plus, and they're like 40 something, and then they don't want to go visit you, but you keep calling them. Don't be surprised. I mean,
Mm-mm.
look at what Christian did. That whole thing, I believe, caused a lot of damage. But like I said, the people who we know, they do other things, and it
Yeah.
hurts the feelings of the dad. Absolutely.
Well, one thing that stood out to me about Christian's video is that he said he was told that Herschel was going to take responsibility for what
Get
he
out in front
did.
of it. Yep.
Right. And because of that, Christian was willing to be there at that first campaign thing. Think, you know what? The man's
Yep.
gonna say, yeah,
He
I did
believed
this
them.
and I did that. Right.
Mhm.
I did this and I did that, but I want to move forward. But according to him, none of this has happened. They've just tried to brush this under the rug.
Yeah.
And that dismisses the experiences, the lived experiences of your children. For you to
Absolutely.
say, I'm a family man and I care about family, conservative, and all of that stuff, and the people who are actually your family. 'Cause I haven't heard anything from any of Herschel Walker's families, not his mama, not any siblings or anything like that. But none of your family is standing behind you, confirming that you're a family man. I mean, that's a little suspect.
Only Republicans who want him to win. That is it. But going back to Christian's video, I've had clients with that same type of resentment, sit across from me on the couch, talking about that dad, they want clarification, and Christian didn't want to play the game. And it
Hmm.
sounds like he was also upset because he was duped again.
Yeah.
Perhaps like when he was a kid and was told your
Hmm.
dad's going to come pick you up and take you to the football game, and then he never shows up, and he believed it. And I believe this candidacy situation may have triggered some things about Christian, because he came back with a lot of energy. He wasn't afraid
Yeah.
either. He stood up to his dad. I'm not going to play this game with you anymore. But that's the result. I mean, that's the consequence,
Hmm.
of what happens when fathers fail to stand up to be that man to their kids that they were supposed to be. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so in having this conversation with someone else, another male, they brought up that Raphael Warnock had I'm gonna use my quotes again, similar situation. And to me, it's just not similar at all. So do you
I,
remember
I
a
I haven't heard
few
that one.
years back? It's nothing like that. A
Yep, yep.
few years back, Raphael Warnock's ex-wife said that he hit her with his car. That
That.
you know,
Mm. He
but the
was never
police report
arrested.
the police report said that he ran over her foot.
Yeah.
And apparently it was his weekend to get the children. He came up to get the children, and she was, I guess I'm gonna say going on about something. And he
She's
he
been
pulled off.
characterized as unreasonable
Right.
by people.
He pulled off like, I'm not going to engage in this conversation with you. And then her still trying to talk junk at him pulling off, he ran over her foot. She called the
Yeah.
police. She went
Yep.
to the news. But
Yep.
because of her background and what other people already knew about her, it just made her look like the clown.
Yeah, and domestic violence is taken very seriously.
Yes.
And I mean, police will arrest anybody. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
They will arrest a
Both of
wife.
y'all.
Yeah, yeah. If she throws something at you and hits you, and you call the police, they will arrest her. So apparently, they have some evidence to realize it wasn't that case where Warnock. It wasn't warranted for him to be arrested.
Yeah.
With that, but that's what happens when you get involved in politics. All that dirty,
Okay. All the little stuff and the big
all the
stuff.
dirty laundry. So I have another case study that I
Okay.
also wanted to bring up along those lines about some consequences of being a poor dad,
Hmm.
a poor example of a dad, a missing dad, an absent dad. Where I've had a client in the past, female, black female, around 30-ish years old, grew up with her mom. Dad is in another state. He wasn't there. And she thought that she didn't have any issues with it. But it came out within her relationships
Mm,
with other men. That's why she came to come see me. She liked older men. She's always liked older men.
okay.
And she expected a lot from them. And if they did something where they didn't return a phone call, or they didn't text back enough, or she saw something suspicious on their social media, that was a big one. It triggered her,
Okay.
and she would go off. She would go looking for him. She was the type that would go knocking on the door, or show up on their job, and she didn't mind. But she realized, and some of her friends helped her out, that that wasn't healthy behavior for her, and she didn't realize why she was so extreme. So she initially came in and tried to manage her behavior, her anger management issues with relationships. What we eventually realized is that all of that was triggering her, taking her back to her childhood when she would stand in front of their home, her mom's house where she grew up, waiting on her dad to show up.
Mm,
And he would say he would come pick her up and take her somewhere or her birthday. He did not show up. And she never dealt with that insecurity, that betrayal within herself and her dad. And so we put that connection together, and she still struggles with it just a little bit, but she had to heal and recover from that relationship, that missing relationship with her dad. And she tried to talk to him about it, and he wasn't in an emotional place to give her what she needed, to heal. He didn't want to take responsibility for anything that he did or did not do, and he had a lot of excuses. But that really helped her also. It was painful for her, but she realized the type of person that he was. And she remembered what the mom used to say about the dad when she was growing up, and she didn't want to believe it. But
Yeah.
now, as a grown woman, she sees that he's irresponsible. She sees that he's selfish, that he doesn't take accountability for his actions. But now it's left her to deal with this mess, the consequences of all of that, and it plays out in her relationships. We're still trying to work things out, with that, for her to pick a guy who isn't like her dad.
Yeah.
That was a trend for her, because I thought it was peculiar that every guy she met ended up being this bomb who would cheat on her or always needed something from her. And she would come through because she craved that attention and that love. But in the end, she's the one dealing with the mess and still resents her dad. And what I want the dads to think about out there, do you want your kids to go through that? Choosing people, romantic relationships, sexual relationships, friendships based on some void that you created within your life. That young lady is still dealing with that mess. She's college educated, has a
Yeah.
career, doing well in other areas of her life. But when it comes to men, they all end up doing the same thing, cheating or lying to her. And she ends up trying to get them back because she can't deal with that rejection. That's an issue.
Yeah.
That's part of the
That
consequences.
retaliation.
Yep, yep, yep.
Well, and so I think for really any parent, but I'll say especially for fathers who aren't in the same home with the child, is there's not a whole lot of making up for absence that you can do. So I've seen a lot of fathers who don't show up here and there for small stuff. And then, if the child brings it up in their older age, they're like, well, I took you to Disney World. And
Yep.
what about that time I did this? And what
Like,
about that
how
time I did
dare
that?
you question
Right.
me? Yep.
You can take them on 100 vacations. That doesn't discount, that you've done those nice things. It's just that the absence or the not following through hits them so much harder that it undoes all the great things that you did, takes them
Absolutely.
further back. And
So
no, in addition to that, you don't have to worry. I've heard a lot of men complain about what their child's mother says about them around the child. Honestly, and I tell the mothers too, you all don't have to say anything negative about the fathers. Eventually, the child will grow up and they will learn.
they
Just
will.
sit back and watch and be there to support your child if you have, a sorry baby daddy. And eventually, as much as they love them, they will understand in their older age. But there's no amount of words that you can say that isn't going to make them resent you for talking bad about their fathers either.
Absolutely. And by the time the kid grows up to become an adult, like Christian Walker and the client I talked about and your client, it's too late to repair that relationship, or it's going to require a great deal of work on your part. So what I wanted to just ask, to finish up the show today, what kind of suggestions can we give to the dads or the dads to be who may not be with their child's mother? What kind of suggestions can we offer them?
My number one suggestion is if you need a lawyer, get a lawyer. There are far too many men who just accept whatever a woman gives to them, or their excuse for why they don't have a relationship with their child is, well, his or her mom did this, and the judge said that, and I just went ahead and signed off on it. And I don't get to see my kids that much, but that's okay. Eventually, they'll grow up and they'll know that I wanted to be there. And that's not true.
That's not. That's right.
What are you talking about? Go ahead and keep going to court. File any appeals that you need to file to see your children if in fact you're being kept from seeing your children. When I see men who do that, I just assume that no, you didn't really want to be bothered with the kid in the
Yep.
first place. So the woman was right. She gave you an out and you took that out.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
you do end up getting once a month, and then every other month you decide you want to be somewhere else besides with your child. You only see him once a month. Why are
Yep.
you doing anything else? It makes no sense to me.
Because the kids, they only see your actions.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't know your intentions. They don't know your motivation. They may not see the real hurdles that are out there. And what I can add to that, the kids, what they really want is your presence. not a package present, but you to be
Yeah.
present with them. And you don't have to be a Disney World dad. You don't have to be a Santa Claus dad, always showing up with the gift.
Yeah.
The gift is just being present there with them and having a conversation with your kid. Take them to McDonald's, take them to a playground, or take them back to your place to watch a movie. But you got to be there for all of those special events. And if you miss one birthday or one Christmas, that is something like Aisha said, they're not going to forget, and that's going to overshadow
Hmm.
all the other things that you have going on. And remember, they're kids, they're not adults. They're not going to piece it together about the issues that you have and what you wanted to do, and what you're trying to pull together, or you trying to make this other relationship work out with this other woman. They don't know anything about that. All they know is daddy wasn't there, and I stood outside the house for hours waiting on them, and it happened repeatedly. Now, as adults, they still have to deal with that. That's like their PTSD, post traumatic stress
Yeah.
disorder. And some dude comes along the same height as the dad, or the same complexion, or the same look, same behavior, and then automatically they're gravitated to that person who is not good for them. That's because of you. And now you got to go talk to them to tell them stop acting so crazy, and you expect them to listen to you. So we can avoid all of that,
We
and
sure
this is just
can.
for the dads. So I know it sounds like we're picking on them today, but we play an important role in our kids' development and who they're going to become. You're the question you should ask yourself: do you want to be there during those critical years to help them to become the person, the adult who you want them to be? Or are you going to remain that irresponsible, selfish individual who they're going to remember when you're 60 years
Okay.
old?
Who doesn't
I
get to see your grandkids because they are
That's
done with you.
because they don't care. I had clients that even tell the dad where they lived. Told the kids the dad was dead.
Mm.
The kids
But
grew up
and look,
believing he
this
was
new
dead.
generation, they're real good about setting boundaries. When they will cut you off. They don't care what your relation is to them.
Absolutely. So the role of the dad, Dr. Aisha and I, we both believe that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started off talking today about the video that Christian Walker made because I felt his energy. I've talked to that dude before, not Christian Walker, but other kids who are now adults who are dealing with that absent father, and that stuff stays with them and it affects their behavior, their emotions, and decisions that they make. I'm still not going to vote for Herschel Walker, but
Me either.
I want to be clear about that. But I did feel sorry for the little kid, the son, and what he's going through because I talked to a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts from you, Dr. Aisha?
Nope, just step up, be a great parent, mother or father, be present.
Gotcha. Absolutely. You drop that seed. You what and somebody gave birth. What are you going to do?
Right.
Going to pretend like it didn't happen?
Well, if you didn't pay for the abortion, it's time to step up. If you didn't pull a Herschel Walker,
And so
go ahead,
finally,
step
on
up.
that note, as Roe v. Wade was overturned, I want to get a little political, and it's important for us to think about who we're going to vote for. Some of us, we're not pro-abortion, we're just pro-choice.
Hmm.
For women to make that decision on their own, and a lot of the campaigns are focusing on women voters. I want the guys to think about this too. This affects you as well. I know guys, some friends from back in the day who got some girl pregnant and he had to pay for an abortion, or they knew that she had an abortion. It's been years ago, but just imagine if that was not a possibility that's out there. So don't think this is just something for the women. I want the guys to think about that and some of those situations that you were able to cough up some money and take care of. You're not even thinking about old girl anymore. Here you are decades later, but imagine if she was not able to get an abortion. Think about that the next time you go to that ballot box. So That's it for me. I hope I didn't step on some toes out there.
You probably did, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with
That's
that.
okay. I'm gonna vote my way. But the guys should think about that too. So anyway, you guys have been listening to Two Therapists and a Microphone. I am Dr. Harrison Davis.
And I'm Dr. Aisha Dickerson.
Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget we air live every Thursday evening at 7:00 p.m. And send us some questions about your situation so we can help you out. It's best if you guys listen to a trained, licensed therapist who can actually help you out with something
And
that makes
not
sense.
your little friends.
Not
Don't
your
listen
little
to your little
friends.
friends.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Take care.
I like that.